In this video we're going to look at multiplying and dividing with integers. What I'm going to show you first is the pattern that happens when we multiply and divide numbers, starting with multiplying numbers. So if I have 0 and I multiply by minus 2, that gives me 0. 0 multiplied by minus 1 gives me 0. 0 multiplied by 0 gives me 0. And you can see that we have 0 multiplied by anything is always 0. So we can do the same this way down. So minus 2 times 0, minus 1 times 0. The rule of anything multiplied by 0 is 0. Now let's look at what happens over here. If I have 1 and I multiply it by 1, the answer is 1, and 1 multiplied by 2 is 2. 2 multiplied by 1 is 2, and 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. No surprises there. That's exactly what we would expect because we're multiplying positive numbers. So that's positive, positive, and positive. Now if we look at the pattern, when we're multiplying by 1, for every number we go down 1 in our answer. So 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 0 is 0. So 1 times minus 1 is minus 1. And 1 times minus 2 is minus 2. So you can see the pattern as we go down. And the same happens here when we are multiplying by positive 2. So 4, down 2 to 0. So positive 2 times minus 1 gives us minus 2, and minus 2 times plus 2 is minus 4. You can see the numbers are replicated, but over in this quadrant where these are positive and these are negative, our answers are negative. Now the same is going to happen up in this quadrant because we have negatives over here and positives over here. So starting here, positive 1, so we go times 2 is 2, times 1 is 1, times 0. Now positive 1 times negative 1 is minus 1. Positive 1 times negative 2 is minus 2. Positive 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, just like it was over here. And positive 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. So that all stands to reason, and that follows this way and this way. So what happens to our pattern when we move into the negative times a negative? So here we can see our pattern. If we start here at minus 4, when we multiply minus 2 by plus 2 is minus 4. Then when we multiply minus 2 by plus 1, it's minus 2. So we move up 2 in our number line. So when we multiply minus 2 by 0, again, we move up 2 in our number line to bring us to 0. So following this same pattern, when we multiply minus 2 by minus 1, we know that 2 times 1 is 2, and here a minus times a minus is a positive. Okay, 2 times 2 is 4, a minus times a minus is a positive. And the same with 1s. 1 times 1 is 1, minus times a minus is a positive. 1 times 2 is 2, and a minus times a minus is a positive. So you can see here, when we have a positive times a positive, here and here is our negative times a negative. When our signs are the same, our results are positive. When the signs are different, our results are negative. So using that as our guide, if I give us the sum 3 times minus 2, 3 is positive, times a negative. A positive times a negative gives us a negative answer. 3 times 2 is 6. If I have 6 times 4, because these are both positive, our answer will be positive. 6 times 4 is 24. positive 24. If I have negative 8 times positive 2, a negative and a positive gives us a negative answer. 8 times 2 is 16. And one last one, minus 5 times minus 3. Here we've got two negatives. A negative times a negative is a positive. 5 times 3 is 15. So you can see that here where I have two positives and here where I have two negatives, our answers are positive. When I have a positive and a negative, or a negative and a positive, our answers are negative. Okay, I hope that clears that up. For multiplication and division is exactly the same. We'll do another video on that shortly.